Okay, let's make an animated work circle. To make a work circle, you only want to have two things in mind: the contact pose and the passing pose. Now, the contact pose is when both feet are touching the ground, while the passing pose is where one of the legs is passing the other touching the ground. Now, with that being said, you want to start with your rough sketch. Your rough sketch is nothing special, just a breakdown of the character you want to make. Let's say I want to make a person standing. I'm not gonna add all the details I need. The clothes and all of that stuff is gonna wait behind. And what I'm gonna do first is just to get the basic proportions of how I want my character to look. I usually use 3 passes, but that depends on whatever you want and how fast you are at drawing. I usually go with the third pass as my final pass. That's my tie down pass. But if you want, you can just use two, depending on how good you are with drawing. Now that you've got your two main poses down, what you want to do is to go with the in-between. The in-between is what brings the animation to life. That's what actually makes the character move. For this part, you want to be really careful with how you place things because it can get a little bit messy. I'm using just two reference pictures now, the one before and after, but you can use the onion skin to see more of the frames or less of it. This part is really tricky, so I want you to concentrate on how you're going to do it. Make sure that every line you draw is perfectly in between the red and the green. It's always supposed to be in between these two. That's why it's called the in between. Except if you're trying to time it. That's the slow in and the slow out. That's going to be a different topic for another day. But for now, just stick to what you're saying. Now, when you're animating the head, you want to make sure that you have one steady head. If your head doesn't move, then there's an easy trick for this. This is how I usually animate the head. You're going to grab your lasso tool, and with your lasso tool, you're going to copy the head of your drawing. Just the head, you're going to copy that. And then on the other frame, you're going to paste it and place it exactly where it's supposed to be on the frame after. You're going to keep doing this so you'll save more time and you save less work, because who wants to draw every single head in every single frame? That's going to take a lot of time. You can do this with parts of the body that are not moving, but it's only the head I can think of right now. Every other part of the body is moving, so you can only do this with the head in a work circle. And it's going to be harder because if your head is turning, then you cannot use this method. But if your head is not turning, it's just in a constant position, then by all means you can use this. You've gotten all the frames you've needed to make a work circle. Now you want to make it look neat. The outline. My advice when making the outline is do not go slow. If you try to make your line work slow, you're going to notice that you're going to be making so much errors. So what you want to do is move your hand as quickly as you can over the screen. So when you do this fast enough, you can have a smooth line, kind of like this one. That's what I do. But if you have another method to get like a perfectly straight line, by all means go ahead and do it. But to get neat lines, this is what I do. It's just me. I don't know if any other person uses this. Now that you're done with that, you're gonna try and make the shadows. For the shadows, I usually use the dark red color. Now this is because the dark red is kind of like a warm color, depending on the type of background you're going for. I want to make it more like daytime, so it's gonna be a warm color, so I use dark red. And when I'm going for the night scene, I usually use a dark blue. I reduce the opacity to somewhere between 35 to 40, but you can always make this vary depending on how dark you want your scene to be or how light you want it to be. You can always tweak these things. Then finally you create a layer underneath your shadow layer, and then you slap on whatever color you want. I usually go with like not so saturated colors because they pop, but for this one I'm going a little bit different. With that being done, all you want to do is add some final touches, a little bit of effects, and you're done. Yeah, please like and comment and tell me exactly what video you want to see me do next.